I'm coming! Where did we get this phone? Hello?
Come with me to the grave.
Mom? Ooh!
Ah!
Ooh!
Ah!
Hi, Miss Pengrino.
Hi.
It's me, Hot Toddy, and this is Miss Pengrino. And welcome to the spooky Halloween episode of Let's Split It, Get
Real.
Oh, and on this special Halloween episode, we're going to talk about a film we watched just last week on the Smokin Hot Toddcast Live. You were probably there for the experience. It's a little piece of cinematic magic called Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Or
AKA The Edge of Hell. That's what it's called in the film. But we had a lot of fun watching this film.
I actually did have fun.
No, it's a great film. You know, it is
minus having to dodge boobies.
That's right. But you know, you're not Halloweenified though. I have to admit, I went all out. I'm wearing my Phantom of the Opera T-shirt. I've got my pumpkin hat on. This is the Halloween episode.
But I don't really have Halloween.
And look behind us. We have celebrities behind us. These are it's the original Universal horror monsters. How can you not be excited about? Okay, well that's good. But I thought okay. But anyway, yeah, we've got in honor of Halloween, the Universal horror monsters behind us. Oh, just scooey. They're always scooey. The Phantom is back there. He's in there. You gotta look for him. But anyway, we're here this week to talk about the greatness that is Rock and Roll Nightmare. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rock and Roll Nightmare is a B movie at its best. This is not one that you saw.
Is it its best?
It's at its best. I think so. It's not one you would have saw in the theaters. That's for sure. That's a no-brainer. But if you're into schlocky bad movies,
I don't even know if it would have been the one at Blockbuster that only had one video.
Yeah, you probably like it probably wasn't even an actual Blockbuster. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not a great film. We found out about it courtesy of our friends at Red Letter Media, and
thanks.
Yeah, and we decided we needed to watch it in its entirety on the Toddcast.
Because when you see it on Red Letter Media, you just get little clippets here and there because they're talking about it.
It's so fun. Those clips are so fun.
But those clips are hilarious. So I was like, oh my god, I really actually kind of want to watch this one.
We invited Miranda and Daniel, and we did it on the Toddcast Live. And overall, I thought it was a fan-freaking-tastic movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Miss Pengrino, what were your thoughts on Rock and Roll Nightmare?
So I did super enjoy it. However,
here we go.
What you can't tell from the little clippets that you get to see on Red Letter Media, there are so many parts that it's just so long and drawn out.
There's a lot of dull moments.
Of like driving or writing in a book. Like, I mean, it just like things that you could have seen 5 seconds of was going on for minutes.
The movie slows down a lot in certain scenes.
Like the movie is only 93 minutes?
85, I thought it was.
I could have been something like that.
I don't remember, but
between the 80-90 mark and let's say probably a good 30 of that was just super, super long moments.
I just realized it's been a while since I've been on this show. I think the last time I was here was like 2 months ago.
2 months? I know I did Cinderella, but did I do the one prior to that too?
You did, and the one prior, Jungle Cruise, and we did that one together.
Yeah, so it hasn't been like that long.
It's been 2 months. That was like late August. It's been a long time. It's the end of October.
But it was only one episode.
Huh?
Only one episode you missed.
But anyway, yeah, the movie drags in certain areas, and so you have to kind of bypass that to get to the fun. But there are enough fun moments to really, I think, put it over the edge as a great film.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
It's a horrible film, but in terms of what we're looking for here, it's a fun bad movie.
It is a fun bad movie.
Yeah.
When you're trying to do it on Facebook Live, there's a lot of boobies.
Oh boy.
And you have to like jump and kick down the camera or turn the camera really, really quickly.
We really had to hide the tatas.
Yeah, there's a lot of tatas.
There's a lot of tatas. But you know what? We did it. We managed. There was not one single tata that made it onto Facebook Live.
Oh, hurrah.
This go around. So we were lucky. But I was nervous about that because, you know, we've known about this movie for a long time. And we've owned it for over almost 2 years.
I've been trying to get him to watch it with me for some time because I actually wanted to watch this one.
And I wanted to
Normally
do it.
the ones we do, I don't want to watch.
And I wanted to do it on the Toddcast too, but I was just afraid that there was going to be so much nudity that we couldn't do it. But really, I mean, it worked out for the best. I mean, it really couldn't have been any better. But I thought it was overall really funny. I thought it was a really funny, and it's not meant to be funny. It's supposed to be a horror film, but it's just so.
Maybe it's kind of meant to be bad.
Well, there's some parts that are meant to be kind of silly. But overall, it's supposed to be a horror film, and it delivers. I mean, they have monsters, they've got ghouls, they got goblins.
Look, it's not a real horror film because I watched it and was fine with it.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
and I don't do horror.
It depends.
So.
You remember last year's Halloween episode? Remember we watched Spookies? Here's the clip. Yeah, see, we watched Spookies last year, and
also not horrifying.
It's not a horror movie. That's right.
No.
This is
I
in the same
that
category.
Baby demon thing at the end was
Mama.
Yeah, that thing was creepy
Mama. That's a great scene. But that's what I'm talking about. Is like that. It's that kind of mentality. Spookies is not a horror movie. It's horror genre, but it is in no way a scary film.
It's old-fashioned, like 80s?
It's mid-80s too. It came out around the same time as Rock and Roll Nightmare, and that's important to note. Rock and Roll Nightmare is an 80s. It's a monster movie. It's not a slasher movie by any chance of the imagination. No. But it's part of the kind of thing that was popular during that time, the heavy metal horror kick. Where you had movies like Jack-O-Lantern, Black Roses, also made by the people that made Rock and Roll Nightmare. I mean, these were the type of movies that you saw during that time, where they mixed hair metal in with horror. And
boy, was there a lot of hair.
There was a lot of hair. We should talk about the star of the film.
Oh,
John-Mikl Thor.
John-Mikl Thor.
Not John-Mikl Thor. John-Mikl Thor.
Yeah, his first name, John-Mikl.
John-Mikl. If you're not familiar with John-Mikl Thor, he was a he was a
Reboot.
He was a heavy
metal
hair heavy hair metal person performer of that era.
Reboot.
He was a hair metal guy.
Yeah.
But he was never very, very famous. He had a band called Thor, and he was, he did his thing. But where he left his mark really was in a handful of schlocky bad B movies. There was this one, Rock and Roll Nightmare. Another one he was in, I'm actually a big fan of because it was on Mystery Science Theater. It was called Zombie Nightmare. And the film co-stars. Am I boring you? Here it is. Here we go again. Every time I bore her.
No.
Every time I talk. Apparently, I'm so goddamn boring.
I'm not bored. I'm tired. We do this at night.
You know what you asked me? What I wasn't gonna do on this episode?
Stop, because you'll upset the camera.
But anyway, he left his mark in movies, bad B movies. Obviously, Zombie Nightmare is a great one. He plays a voodoo zombie in that. He gets murdered by some thugs, and then his mother convinces the local voodoo lady, because we all have local voodoo ladies in our towns. Well, again, we've talked about this. Miss Pengrino's from another planet. But Miss Pengrino is from Louisiana. They got voodoo people, but and in this movie they kind of like personify what we think of voodoo people. So she brings John-Mikl Thor back to life, and he goes and kills all the thuggy teenagers. It was teenagers that killed him. Fun fact: one of the punk teenagers that kills John-Mikl Thor in that movie was played by a young actor named Sean Levy, or Sean Levy. I'm not sure how he pronounces it, but He went on to be not like an Academy Award rating director, but a beloved like go-to director in Hollywood. Direct like action movies and comedies, things that, and because he knows what he's doing, he's really good at just directing. He's good at making movies. His most recent film, Free Guy.
Oh, I liked that
with
one.
Ryan Reynolds. We just
That
saw
was
that
so
one.
good.
Yeah.
Did we review that?
We haven't reviewed that one.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it was a good film. But yeah, he's a go-to director, and he directed Free Guy, and he killed John-Mikl in a movie once. It's a small world, even in Hollywood.
It's a small world.
See, there you go. But, you know, it's... You could classify it as a horror film. Not Free Guy. We're talking about Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Right.
You could classify it as a horror film, but it's not very scary. There are, some monsters in it. What'd you think of the makeup effects in that film? Because I think...
AKA the monsters.
The monsters. I kind of think...
Oh my gosh.
Well, no, look. Here's my take. Well, you go ahead and do your take.
Okay, so they're Muppets.
Not really, because I don't think Jim Henson had anything to do with the Muppets. Or do what he did with the Muppets, but not with this movie.
But, maybe.
No, I don't think he did.
Because, Dark Crystal, they resemble
it's somewhat
those a lot. So, what if maybe they were just
It's just some shit he had laying around the office.
And, the last little bits,
here.
and they were like, here you go.
Hey, Jim Henson, we need some puppets. Here, fucking take them. We don't... these
okay,
ones,
so,
go.
yeah, this puppet's arm fell off. Okay, use it. And just put some eyeballs on it, and it's fine.
But not all the monsters in the movie were Muppets, as you say. There were actually some really good... I thought makeup effects
for that time.
No, for that movie, for a B movie like that.
So
I think they were good practical effects.
Okay,
they were good, and that's something to remember. These are practical effects, not there's no CGI or anything like that.
Okay,
this is the 80s.
So there's the Muppets, which were ridiculous because let's be real,
they were adorable.
They were penis monsters with eyeballs. Okay. That's what they were.
Here they are.
And,
just in case you were wondering. They weren't real. I mean, I don't think they were... Well, no, they looked like penises.
They look a lot like them, and then they got the grease, if you will, on them. So that doesn't help. And then there were the little starfish, octopus, squid. I don't know what they were supposed to be.
Right, that's towards the end of the film.
Obviously not an octopus. It only had 4 legs. But... Yeah. So we'll go with...
It was a starfish.
Starfish, we'll go with starfish because I think that's what it was.
But they had suction cups, and that's what made them unique. They're starfish with suction.
So those were also ridiculous, also greased. I don't know why everything in this movie was greased.
At least you're not saying moist or some shit.
Oh God, I hate that word. I would never say that word.
Well, I don't know. The way it's going here.
And then there was the little worm-looking one.
Oh yeah, he was adorable.
Throws himself.
He's my favorite.
And he was I felt. But no, okay, so what you're talking about though is makeup.
The makeup effects, yeah.
Which they were human actors, but they had face pieces on them.
Yeah.
It was good, I will still say, for that time.
But again, even for that time though, they could do it better. But for a B movie, I thought they did really well with what they had.
They looked a lot the same.
How?
The boy and the lady, they were like a monkey / dog creature face.
But it looked good.
I mean,
for that movie, I thought it looked good. Look, the movie is awful. Okay, let's just get it out there. It's poorly put together. It's a B movie, but we're into that kind of schlocky goodness, and so you have to go into these movies with an open mind, knowing that these are going to be bad movies from the get-go. And when you see something that you like, you get surprised. And when that little boy came out with a little werewolf face, I was like, "Whoa, that's a great shot! That's a great scene." I didn't realize because I didn't know that was in there. I didn't even know there was a little boy in the movie. There were some nice surprises in Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Greased starfish.
Okay. I knew that was coming. Spoilers ahead.
I don't know if anybody's going to watch this.
I don't think you're going to watch this film. But,
unless you're a B-movie fan.
Right, but you probably already are well aware of it. This movie is about a heavy metal hair... They're heavy metal hair band. There we go. Got it. John-Mikl plays a guy named John Triton. Him and this band are going to go record at this barn and home. Originally, you find out at the beginning of the movie that there's a demon that lived in that home and killed the family. And so that's like the backstory of that house and the barn. So they're going to go, rehearse and record music there. And then one by one, the band members and the manager all get picked off by different demons.
Right.
The last man standing is John Triton, John-Mikl Thor.
Pause.
Yeah.
So for as long as this movie is, all of these people get picked off within a matter of 20 minutes.
Like, this movie gets boom, boom, boom. It gets going.
Gone. They're gone.
Out. Yeah.
With a few sex scenes thrown in the middle.
We talked about boobies already.
But legitimately within 20 minutes. So we have an 80 to 90 minute film.
Yeah.
The whole major portion of the film happens within 25 minutes.
But it's great. I mean, that movie it moves right along, and I was okay with it.
But then, anyways, continue.
So the last man standing
is
John-Mikl Thor, John Triton, and as it turns out, the demon, this is Satan himself. And
Beelzebub.
He comes up and he's like, "Listen, I'm tired of this shit. I've been trying to draw you out in a battle this whole time, and that's why I've been picking off your bandmates. You don't seem to care.
You haven't been listening to me. I told you they were dead, and so
And he's like, "There's a reason for that, bub." Because he does call him bub. They're not. These people weren't actually here. I am an angel sent by God to protect this house and protect the world from what you're doing. I am Triton the Great, or something like that.
I am bound by this law to strike you from this place. It's my job. This is your end. This place.
He's an archangel.
He's an
These are merely but shadows for your amusement.
That's right. He was an angel the whole time. And so the end of the movie, there's an epic battle between him and Beelzebub. Of course, John Triton, Triton, the great, the archangel, is the victor. End of story.
In his bedazzled thumb.
Very bedazzled thumb.
You win this time. This place is yours. I will
But I love that storyline. I love that idea. It was done poorly in this film. Yeah. They could have done it better. This is ripe for a good remake by somebody.
Oh, for sure. Like, they could make it into, like, a legitimate horror film.
But, still keep that...
Or horror comedy film. Whichever one you want.
But still keep that twist regardless. And I think it would have been a bomb. I think that... Not a bomb. This
no, that's not the twist.
This is the bomb. Bomber. I think it would have been a great film if they remade it in this style. Because I love the storyline behind it. He's an angel this whole time. He's just teasing Beelzebub to come out. That's why I bought the movie, because I loved that twist so much.
I mean, you could even, if you wanted to tweak it a little bit, it'd be like Aliens, Like aliens coming to Earth, and they're like, "Nah, you're playing with this planet too much. Like, you gotta go."
I thought you meant like Sigourney Weaver aliens. Like,
no.
Why would we bring the xenomorph into this?
No. But like, if you didn't want to do Demon Angel, you could do Alien and like Galaxy Protector.
Guardians of the Galaxy. They did that.
They probably
could,
done that movie. Yeah, but not like this.
Whatever.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, if they didn't want to keep that exact thing, but still wanted to do it, they could.
But overall, it was a great film. It's fun to watch. It is a bad movie, but it's so much fun to watch, especially with friends, and that's what we did it this way.
For the bad that it is, you can joke, you can laugh, and I mean,
you can have fun with it.
Yeah. There's a lot of product placement in this movie.
More than you would expect.
Movie is like Coca-Cola,
Coke
SOS.
Everywhere. Well, Coke mostly. I mean, it was everywhere.
The SOS was in there quite a few times too.
It was.
If you don't know what that is, it's a scrub brush.
It's a scrub brush, yeah.
And they do a lot of dishes in this movie.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that's some of the
so many dishes.
That's some of the sluggishness you got to get away from.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a great film. So, Miss Pengrino, would you recommend Rock and Roll Nightmare to people?
I would, yeah. Especially if you like B comedies, because I know, again, this is not meant to be a comedy, but it is. Yeah. It really is. So, B horror comedy, go watch it. I mean, even if you're not really into B movies, like, you could kind of just laugh at the blasphemy of this movie, because it does still draw you in.
Yeah.
It's a little boring at parts. I do still firmly stick with that. There are slow parts. But if you need to, just fast forward through them.
That's true.
It's fine.
And I echo those sentiments. I would still say this is more for people who are into B movies. If you're taking this home for movie night, this is probably not your meal. This is probably not. This is the same thing I said about Spookies. This is not for like general audiences who enjoy horror movies or silly horror movies.
Read the crowd.
Know
your people.
This goes on a different playing field. So it's great if you like these kinds of movies. But if you're looking for like a hocus pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas.
So let's take it from Miranda's point of view. She probably wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
She's more into legitimate movies.
She hates what we do to her.
I normally do not like these movies for the ridiculousness of what they are. But this one, I don't know, it just kind of drew me in because it was funny, and I do love the Muppet monsters, even though they were terrible looking.
They are fun, aren't they?
I love them because they're just adorable.
Yeah.
So normally, even somebody like me who is, not all about the B movies, I was about this one. I enjoyed it.
It was good. So overall, Rock and Roll Nightmare gets a big C- from us. B-?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say I might give it a solid C.
All right. C it is.
C it is.
And with that in mind, that's our review of Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Or
The Edge of Hell. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on this video. Make sure you follow the Superfuzz Productions YouTube page.
Clicking the bell.
Clicking the bell so you get the notifications. You can also follow us on Twitter at Superfuzz Videos. And hey, while you're on the YouTube page, you can check out the merch shop. You get yourself some Get Real stuff. Or if you're more into podcasts, you can go check out new episodes of the Smokin Hot Toddcast. The Halloween episode is up. The Scaretastic Halloween special. Go check that out.
Woo!
Today. Well, as you know, Miss Pengrino, Halloween is almost over, but I'm not ready for it to be over.
Me neither.
We watched a scary film. I want to watch at least one more scary film before the holiday is over.
Okay. What'd you have in mind?
I'm glad you asked. Champagne and Bullets, better known as Get Even.
No. No.